What's up, y'all? It's your girl Maury, and I am back with another video. We are back with another hairstyle. Today, I am going to be showing y'all that we got knotless braids at home. Yes, I'm going to be showing y'all how to do your own knotless braids, step by step. This hairstyle is so versatile. It is our holy grail and our go-to as a protective style. And we're just going to get into it and show you guys how you can achieve these at home. But before we even get into this video, I need you guys to hit that subscribe button, subscribe to my channel, like these videos up, talk to me in the comments, and just let me know what hairstyle y'all want to see next. Now let's get into this video. I was a little lazy this time, and I did have my sister pre-part my hair for me, but if you guys want to see a part-in video of how I part my hair for my braids, let me know and I will record that for you guys. But we're at the top section now. I did do most of my hair just for the sake of the length of this video, but I'm going in and making sure that my middle part is right, it's crisp, it's actually in the middle and exactly where I want it to be. I will suggest, if you do plan on doing knotless braids and tackling this hairstyle, pre-parting is going to be your best friend. It's going to save you a lot of time when doing these hairstyles. So you can pretty much do your knotless any size. I did go for like a small medium, like they would say, size, only because I did want them to last a long time. So I'm just going ahead on this part and just sectioning out each part for my braids before I go ahead and start braiding my hair. So that's just calm down. That's what we're gonna do now. Just take the time to part our sections, make see what size we want our boxes to be and everything like that. So you really don't have to do this step, but I do like to go ahead and once I finish sectioning out my parts and deciding how many braids I want in this row, I go ahead and just twist the parts up. This just makes it easier to keep the hair out of the way so we can keep our parts clean and we just don't end up pulling hair in other sections and everything like that. So now that I have all my sections, I'm going to start off with my braid. I am using the Braid Gel. I will link it in the description below. So I'm just going to section out my three parts, and when I add the hair, the first hair, I'm always going to make sure I'm adding in to the middle. So I add that hair in, braid a little bit, go back to the same side and adding to the middle, and the extra piece is going to go to the hair on the outside. And then we're just going to keep on adding hair in as we braid down, just to keep the consistency of our braid. I believe I added between 5 to 6 pieces as I am braiding down. I did do my braids a little long this time. I did it down to like a little past my butt, or like to the top of my butt. So that's why I'm adding so many pieces, more so for length of the braid. But you can decipher how long you want your braids, how thick you want your braids to be, or whatever the case may be. And we're just going to braid down like a normal plait and just keep on adding that hair in. I will say, as you are braiding, it is important that you continually run your hair through the actual braiding hair, because it does tend to tangle up a little. And we're moving on to our next braid. I'm going to do the same process. I start by separating my part into 3 sections, and then I'm going to add in that first piece of hair, braiding down, and then once we get to the same side, I'm adding in another piece of hair. I'm always adding in my extension to the middle and then grabbing the outside with whatever piece of hair is on the outside. As I'm braiding, I'm making sure that I'm braiding tight so that my braid is tight from root all the way down. I'm making sure that I am running my fingers through the hair so the hair is not getting tangled in any way or form. Braiding hair tends to tangle as you keep braiding down, so every couple of inches you braid down, you want to make sure that you're running your fingers through that braid. I am also making sure every once in a while that I add just a little bit of the braid gel on my fingers as I braid down. This is going to keep my natural hair smooth and smooth it out so that it can blend in with the braiding hair, and I just don't have a whole bunch of my natural hair out, all the extra pieces hanging out, and just making sure that the braid is nice and uniform. As you can see, I'm tussling with this hair. That's why it's important to just make sure that you keep running your fingers through the hair. It doesn't matter. I use pre-stretched, pre-separated everything hair, and I still have to make sure that I'm running my fingers through that hair so it doesn't get tangled, and it just makes it easier. Whether you're a fast braider or slow braider, it doesn't matter. So here I did decide to slow it down. This is how big I'm sectioning off my pieces of hair, not that big. And I just decided to slow down and show you guys in real time how I'm actually braiding it for this last braid on this side. So I'm taking a little bit of braiding gel. You don't want to have too much. You don't want your roots to be too gooky or anything like that. Just enough to smooth the hair out. Putting a lot of braiding gel is not going to keep your braids tight or anything like that. It's your grip that's really going to keep the braids tight. So you don't need that much braiding gel. After I put the braiding gel, I'm going to section my hair into 3 sections. Once I section it into 3 sections, I'm going to go ahead and add that first piece of hair. As you can see, I'm taking the hair and I'm spreading it between my thumb and my index finger. And then as you can see, I'm taking it, adding it into the middle section, and then grabbing the other side with that outside section. Then I'm going to go ahead and start braiding down. Once I braid down and I get to the other side, there's going to be one section that doesn't have extension on it yet. You want to make sure you braid it to that side. Again, I'm taking my index finger and thumb, spreading the hair out and adding it into that middle section. And then I'm going to keep on braiding down. So by the time you add your first 2 sections, every 3 sections should have a piece of extension in it. And then from then on out, I'm just going to continue adding. Again, separating with our index and middle finger, and we're always adding it into the middle. Now I want to say, when you do add your pieces in, you want to make sure that you keep that middle finger that's on the braid tight on the extension, and keep your fingers tight on the hair as you braid down so the hair doesn't slip out, it doesn't move, and it keeps your braids nice and tight and uniform. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep on doing that, keep on taking the hair. As you can see here, this is about the little amount of braiding gel that I keep on my fingers, and this is just to smooth the hair out, smooth it out on my natural hair to make sure that my hair stays nice and smooth, it doesn't tangle with the braiding hair, but also to make sure that it is laid down, especially when I get to the ends of my hair, because my ends are a little more frizzy, and we just want our braids to look nice, uniformed, and clean. And I'm just going to keep doing that process throughout this whole entire braid. We braid down a little bit and then we go ahead and add our next piece of extension. Like I've said before, I did add about 5 to 6 pieces on the braid just for length because I did do my braids down to my butt. And this is pretty much how we have knotless at home, guys. Just really take your time and get these braids done. If you guys notice it, I noticed it, so I'm sure you notice it too. There is like a little bit of white residue on my scalp, on my part. I don't know what my sister used, what gel she used to pre-part my hair, but that is a result from that, which is not a problem. I just simply fixed it by when I dip my hair in the water at the end. The same hot water from the towel that I used to dip my hair, I just ran that across my scalp and it cleared all of that white residue right on up, guys. This I won't lie and say that it's easy. Well, the style itself and braiding is easy once you get the technique of adding the extensions in. The most time consuming part is depending on how big you do your parts and how small you do your braids. So this is how I'm sealing my braids at the end. Once I get to the length braid down to where I want it to be, I'm going to take up the piece of the hair and wrap it around tightly around the end of the braid, and then I'm just going to do a small knot. So how I do my knot is I take that piece after wrapping around about 2 or 3 times, and I'm going to wrap it around my thumb and my index finger like so. Take that other piece of the little hair and pull it through nice and tight to make a knot, and this is pretty much how I seal my braids. Again, I'm taking the piece of hair, I'm wrapping it around about 2 to 3 times, and then I'm just going to take that piece of hair, wrap it around my thumb and my index finger like so. Wrap it around, and then I'm just gonna take that the end piece of the hair, and I'm just going to pull it through the loop and create a knot. And this is how I seal my braids to make sure that they don't unravel or anything like that. And yeah, guys, this is pretty much the hairstyle. This is how I do my knotless braids. Like I said before, once you get the hang of adding the hair in and mastering that part, everything else is really just doing single plaits or little box braids like you will be doing with your natural hair. Simple, well, can be simple, but I will say that it is a time consuming hairstyle. So just to give y'all some reference, I do my own hair, so I take my time. I don't like to put too much on myself, so it took me about 3 nights, 4 hours each night. So that's about, like, if we put it all together, maybe like 12 hours in total, which is not bad considering the size of the braids, the amount of hair that I have. But I am a pretty fast braider because I'm used to this. But I would say if you're doing this at home, do it on a good weekend where you know you're going to be home. So this is how the braids are looking. This is how the hairstyle came out. I decided to do like blonde in the back and around the first 2 rows in the front section of my hair. Just gives it a little pizzazz without it being too boring with just all black braids. But this is how it came out. So cute, so neat. The perfect length. I did go ahead and braid the ends when I dipped it just to give it a little crinkle at the ends of the braid. These, as you guys know, knotless braids are so versatile. You can wear it to the side, you can wear it down, you can wear it side part, you can do half up, half down, you can do ponytail. So many endless styles that you can actually do with this hairstyle. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope I dropped some gems. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video up, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.